Hey guys, I'm the CuberCubed, and welcome to the 7th week of the Tuesday Talk podcast. This week I am with...
Sean here from SpeedCubeReview.
Yeah, so I'm glad you came on the show. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, jumping right into here, there's some big releases and small releases, but yes, right off the bat, the Moyu Magnetic Pyraminx, probably everyone about now has heard of it, especially since Drew Brad's kind of made it big and obviously getting the world record average.
Wait, did he get that on the
So,
magnetic Pyraminx? Or was
yeah,
that
I
was
believe at
before, I thought.
Nats, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why everybody's, it shows on the cubicle, if I go there, it says that a pre-release version of this puzzle was used by Drew Brads to break the Pyraminx average world record at U.S. Nationals 2016.
Okay, well
So,
that's some good publicity there.
yeah, definitely. So, I hear you have the Pyraminx.
Yes, it is right in
So,
front of me.
yeah, what do you think of it?
It's different. I don't feel like I'm the person that can say if it's good or bad because I'm not Drew Brads. And I basically picked up Pyraminx and really started working at it like a month or two ago. But it out of the box, it doesn't even feel like there's magnets in it because it sounds like there's bearings and it kind of clicks. But maybe it's because I'm slower. I like more controllable cubes. And so I was using the Chi one that really clicked into place. And since this doesn't really click into place and it's quite flexible, like there's really big holes in it, it's hard for me to control. I mean, it's good. It's just hard to control for me.
So it's probably comparing the Yushin 5x5 to the Botrong 5x5. You know, both of them are relatively the same, but if you're slower, you use the Botrong, and if you're faster, you use the Yushin type of thing.
Yeah, but with magnets.
So, yeah. So that's very interesting. I think that's pretty cool how they introduced magnets in there.
Yeah, and
So,
it's
yeah, that's
weird
pretty
too that
cool.
Chi came out with one at the same time, and we'll see how those compare because they say they're not the same kind of thing. Although, are we talking about that later, or I don't want to get ahead of schedule.
I sure, I guess. But anyway, the YJ Guanhu Megaminx release obviously has the Guan in the name, so it meaning budget. It's about under $10 on most cube stores, and it seems just like an all-around, if you want to get into Megaminx, here's a starter one, see how you like it. So it's probably not very good in performance, but that's just my opinion. What do you think about it? Or
Well,
what have you heard?
it looks like the Yoo-Hoo R just with more rounded edges. 'Cause when the Yoo-Hoo R came out, it's so much better than the Yoo-Hoo out of the box, but the corners were sharper, so it didn't reverse cut really well. So it looks like the Guanhu is just sort of fixing that one issue with the Yoo-Hoo R. Maybe there'll be cheaper plastic. I don't know exactly if that's going to change it, but it it seems like an upgraded Yoo-Hoo R without making like Yoo-Hoo R Pro or whatever they're going to call it next.
Yeah. You who are GTS.
Yeah, it'd definitely be controllable because the other two big ones, which I guess we'll get to next. I mean, the Shangshu, the Aurora is pretty nice controllable, but that would be good for someone who really just wants to get into it. And because I remember the first one I got, it was hard to figure out even how to use it.
Yeah. I guess Guanhu's better than Yoo-Hoo GTR.
Although we might expect that next with the way things are going.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, in the style of Megaminx, personally I have been looking forward to so much is the X-Men Galaxy Megaminx Lux set. So if you haven't heard, it's basically the Megaminx, the Galaxy Megaminx. If you haven't heard, has tiles. So it comes with 4 bags of stickerless tiles, the flat, concave, convex, and sculpted. So you basically can make your own and have all of them in one, which is sweet, and I think that's amazing. For almost about $9 more, you get all 4 of them. Obviously, you can only have one at once, but I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just pulled out my because I've got this sculpted Megaminx, and for most people I've talked to, they seem to like that one the best. The grip's just really nice, and I'm trying to pry off one of these tiles because I've taken one off before, and it's hard. Oh, there we go. It's hard to get this thing off of here. Maybe it's just at a weird angle, but the whole thing that's holding the tiles in are just 3 little prongs, and I mean, I haven't heard any issues with this, but I don't know how many people have it. That after taking them off and then on, then off and on, those prongs are going to get kind of worn out. So hopefully those don't break or break off inside of it. But definitely to be able to get all 4 kinds for that price. I mean, if I was going to buy one, I would get that because it's just might as well get that one if you're going to buy it anyways. It's kind of like the GANs, in my opinion, it's like get the Masters if you're going to get it because then you just, for a few dollars more, you get everything.
Yeah. Definitely. It's kind of like make your own Megaminx.
Yeah. I wonder if people are going to like mix them too, where it's like the concave edges but the convex center. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Electrocuber ZZ a couple episodes ago when I had him on, that since they were caps, you could, potentially have different ones on different sides. Maybe not the most useful, but it's definitely an option, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Jumping right into the next one, which is one of the most hyped 3x3s in my opinion, at least recently, is the Valk 3. So, yeah. It's a little bit more pricey, and it's about $20 on most cube stores, and people say it resembles a Mei-Ying, but it's kind of that mystery, Everybody says it's good, and you can't really tell unless you try it. At least in my opinion. But I heard you actually got one?
Yeah, so I have 2 of them. I've got the stickered one and the stickerless, and I already ordered 2 more because I love this cube. I try to not hype a cube up too much because a lot of times when people, talk about cubes, it's either amazing or horrible. And it's, a lot of people are either saying it's like a Mei-Ying or it's like a Yushao, and both those are really similar. It's a little bit smaller. It's about 0.5 millimeter smaller than either of them. But, yeah, it's smooth like the Mei-Ying is, maybe a little smoother, not as, clicky. But it's got that controllability of the Yushao, and one thing that I think helps that, the springs are conical. They're like cone-shaped, and the only other cube I've seen like that was the GAN 357. And so I'm wondering if that cone shape is helping the center stay more stable. But I've already, pretty much my average 5, 12, and 100, broken all my records with it, and it's comfortable for me to use. I know some people don't like smaller cubes, and this is definitely smaller. I was thinking earlier today that it's 5.55 centimeters, and Mats Valk broke the world record with a 5.55. And I'm wondering if that's just a big joke or it just happened to be that, and it was a big coincidence.
Oh, wow. I've never thought of that.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a whole joke they're having with themselves or...
They were probably like, hey, let's go with the, 56 millimeters. And someone was probably like, yo, how about 5.55? Like 55.5. And then I thought it was just like, oh, wow, that'd be great. Or maybe it's a huge coincidence, which would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think anyone can go wrong with this cube unless you really are annoyed by small cubes. And, but I definitely had to slow this down. It was really fast for me. But there is one other cube I can think of that had sort of a cuber behind it help make it. And that was that Maru CX3 that was Cubics. I mean, I don't even really know what Valk did, Mats Valk did to help make this. If he was just, yep, I like it, or he actually helped.
I think what they did is Chi, or the Valk 3 brand, which it was going to be, they basically kind of collaborated and said, hey, we've got this design, and then Mats or however you pronounce his name, he
Yeah.
kind of went to it and kind of said, I like this. This could be better. I like this idea. Put holes in the edges so it's lighter. Because, like, honestly, why not? Everybody was like, whoa, that's weird. Why would you do that? But it's like, taking that little bit out of every single, like, there's 12 edges. So that adds up weight. So, I mean, it's just kind of those little things that he kind of changed and made his own. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always had this, like, when I started cubing, to have this idea of start a company, make cubes, and contact 5 top cubers in the world and try to get their own model, because those would sell. If you had, like, the Zemdegs model and the Edders model and, like, all these different versions, those would sell really well. But that didn't happen because I just didn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, man. But, yeah, people that have had it really seem to like it. So, it definitely seems like a hit instead of a miss. So, that's pretty cool. Definitely for Matt's Valk, kind of that, like, yes, it worked. People like it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the price, because I don't really see too much that's causing the higher price. So I'm wondering if that's just to help cover, or like that's sort of kickback to Matt's for it, which honestly,
Yeah.
I like, it's that thing where I keep saying it's a couple dollars more, a few dollars more, mine as well, but if that keeps happening and everything keeps going just a few dollars more, it's weird that now 4x4s and 5x5s are cheaper than 3x3s.
Yeah. It's insane. Like, at one point, my 4x4 was half of the price of my 3x3.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when you sit down and think, it's like, wow, is it really that it's high tech and, like, oh, these little pieces and it's hard to manufacture? But it's like, you've got 4x4 with small internal pieces. So you're kind of just putting that price out there because people will buy it.
Yeah, and I think we'll get to that price thing when we get to the light cube coming up.
Another big thing, at least to me, is the Shangshao Master Killaminx. So, as everybody knows, the Killaminx has blown up. Not everybody has one, but everybody kind of knows about it. And it's gotten to the point where everybody, or a lot of people, want it to be an event. So, I actually really like the idea of making a 4x4 Killaminx. So, you've got the small 2x2, which is good quality, a regular Megaminx, which is their Aurora, and then they've got a good 4x4 Megaminx. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got the 2x2 one from it, and this has just been fun to solve. I mean, I've never been a big fan of Megaminx because it just feels like an overgrown 3x3, and that's also because I haven't really practiced it too much. But this one's just, it's enjoyable to solve. It doesn't take too long. I could see why people want to become an event. I don't see it happening this year if it does. And yeah, the 4x4, it just looks cool, the Master Killaminx. I want one, but I'm afraid to solve it. I'm afraid to scramble it.
Yeah.
But
it's like
it looks
$39.
Yeah, I was surprised at how well this moved, though. Like, it turns really nicely. It doesn't feel clicky. Like, they actually thought about the design and weren't just throwing something out there.
Yeah. Definitely. So, honestly, I don't think the 4x4 Killaminx will blow up as much as the regular one because everybody sits down and solves 2x2 easily. So,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be like, hey, I'm going to spend $39 for a 4x4 Killaminx. That's not what everybody would do. So, most everybody would still like the regular Killaminx, at least in my opinion. But next, I just wanted to talk about this because I thought it was actually really cool. Now, the GAN 356S V2 Lite. So, it's exactly the same, but they've cut off different things. So, you don't have the plastic case, you only get a plastic tensioning tool, and I think that's really cool because it's a really good puzzle but it's gotten mediocre or bad reviews because of it being such a high price.
Well, doesn't the regular 356S V2 come with the plastic? I thought it was just the Masters and Advanced that came with the metal tensioning tool.
Yeah. It was just that, and then the regular came with the plastic, which is what the light comes with.
Yeah, this is the one I'm concerned with. I feel like, so I think we were talking about earlier, there's probably some price changes or hikes with cubes just because they can. And the Gans had something that no one else did. It had, screws in all of the pieces, so there's definitely all those extra parts. You could add weights to the pieces. You could, there's all these different things. But the regular edition just had that case, really, aside from, because it came with a plastic tool, it didn't come with any extra springs. And this is, I think, about $6 less than that. So I think, not that I'm upset about it. I'm worried. I'm worried that now people are going to think that Gans is very much overpricing because they now came out with pretty much the exact same thing without the case for $16. Or what is it, 16? Something like that. Mm-hmm. So I think, what they...
Yeah, it's definitely, you could see on the outside, oh, wow, that's a great idea. Now they're making it less money, taking out these little stuff. And it's like, wait, they just took out a plastic case and a metal tensioning tool. Is that really worth about $10, worth taking that out? So it's kind of like, were they, it kind of feels like they're like, hey, this was overpriced. We want more buyers. We're gonna throw this in while taking out, these things to make it blend in.
Yeah, and I like Gans cubes. They're good cubes. When you're especially using the 356S V2, like it feels different than any other cube. There's work that went into this thing. But I feel like what they need to do is have their light version and their Masters Edition. And the Masters Edition comes with the springs, the metal tool, the plastic case, maybe an extra set of stickers they could throw in there. But something where it's an obvious they've got their basic version and the upgrade version. And because right now there's 4 different versions. There's the light, the standard, the advanced, and the Masters. And that seems like way too many choices. Cubers don't like that many choices.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, this pretty much wraps up the Tuesday Talk podcast. Again, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, if you guys would like him in another podcast, make sure to tell me in the comments. And make sure to tell me in the comments what I should talk about in my next podcast. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button with your 4x4 and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.